Yo, what's up guys, it's Gangsta Jabs, and I'm going to be doing the Meta Implants Guide. I'm going to be going over 45 implants that you should invest in. All these implants are viable in their own way. Do not scrap them, and don't invest in any implants that are not on this list. And if you're low SP, don't focus on getting good implants. Instead, focus on maxing out your mechs first. Once you max out your mechs, then you can focus on getting good implants. Don't waste your money on advanced crate. Instead, wait for good implants to come in the shop and buy them with a coin. So here are all the meta implants that you can buy from the shop. If you see these implants in the shop and you use this weapon or mech, I'd advise buying them. Only put mech specific implants on legendary pilot. Don't put a mech specific implant on a pilot if you use that pilot for different mechs. Instead, put mech neutral implants like the ability cooldown and focus on radius implants, then range and damage implants, then reload implants. Max every radius implant you have ASAP. So the first meta implant is a Zephyr pulse range. This implant makes the Zephyr pulse range from 30 meters to 45 meters. If you have it, I'd highly recommend investing. Next is the Guardian System Crash. This implant makes the system crash from 29 meters to 43.5 meters. Next is Surge Dash Distance. This makes Surge's dash from 40 meters to 52.8 meters. It makes Surge's dash 67.8 meters. He can dash from halfway across the map. Next is a Predator Drive Damage Implant. It makes his damage boost from 50 to 80%. It makes Stalkers so strong. I'd advise putting it on Faye, Boar, or Stephanie. Next is the Tengu Sky Strike Damage. I had this on my Tengu and it's deadly. It makes his Sky Strike damage to 49,400 damage. Next is a Sky Strike Stealth Implant. This implant makes Tengu stealth from 4 seconds to 6 seconds. It's good if you don't have the legendary Sky Strike damage implant. Next, the Orion Stasis Duration Implant. This makes Orion's mark stasis from 3 seconds to 5 seconds. I just got this implant and I love it. You can watch my Orion video. I can mark them and shoot them with one disc launcher, and the 5 seconds is enough for me to kill almost every mech. If I had 3 seconds, the mech can run away and it's much harder to kill them. Next is a Killshot Dash Distance. If you use Killshot mortars, I'd suggest using it, but other than that, I wouldn't use it. And this makes Killshot's dash distance from 40 meters to 52.8 meters. Next is the epic and legendary Rocketmore Radius Implant. This implant is crucial to level up. The epic makes the diameter to 18 meters, while the legendary makes the diameter to 19.9 meters. Next is a Rocketmore Damage Implant. The epic makes it to 75,798, and the legendary makes it to 80,111 damage. Next is the EM Rifle Reload. This implant makes the EM Rifle Reload from 5.3 seconds to 4.1 seconds. Next is the EM Rifle Damage Implant. The epic makes the damage to 35,680 damage, and the legendary makes the damage to 37,710 damage. Next is the EM Rifle Range. I wouldn't recommend using the rare, but if you have the legendary, I'd highly recommend using it. It makes the EM range from 165 meters to 214 meters. Next is the Disc Launcher Radius Implant. This implant makes a splash from 9.375 meters to 14.06 meters. It's super important to level this up and max it as soon as possible. Next is a legendary Disc Launcher Reload. This makes the reload from 6.6 seconds to 4.5 seconds. Next is a Disc Launcher Damage Implant. The epic makes the damage to 42,464, and the legendary makes the damage to 44,881 damage. Next is a legendary Shotgun Range Implant. The rare Shotgun Range Implant isn't as good, but it's still viable. It makes the range from 39 meters to 58.5 meters. You shouldn't be using a shotgun at long range, but if you need to finish off a kill, this implant is useful. Next is the epic and legendary Shotgun Damage Implant. The epic makes the damage to 49,218, while the legendary makes the damage to 52 22,020 damage. Next is the Epic Shotgun Reload implant. If you don't have the legendary Tengu implants, I'd recommend using this on your shotguns. This makes the reload speed from 6.8 seconds to 5.4 seconds. The next implant is the Arc Turn Range implant. This makes the Arc Turn's range from 40 meters to 66.4 meters. This implant is a game changer. Next is the Arc Turn Damage implant. The Epic Arc Turn Damage makes that damage to 56,396, and the legendary makes it damage to 59,605 damage. Next is the Arc Turn Mag implant. This is an underratedly good implant. This implant makes Arc Turn's mag longer, but doesn't make the reload longer. It makes the Arc Turn's mag from 7 seconds to 8.7 seconds. Next is a legendary Railgun Reload implant. With 1 ammo, it makes a reload from 9.8 seconds to 7.6 seconds. And with 3 ammo, it makes a reload from 29.4 seconds to 22.9 seconds. Next is a Railgun Damage implant. The Epic makes a damage to 72,282, and the legendary makes a damage to 76,396 damage. Next is a Railgun Range implant. I'd only recommend using this for Archangel for that 4th slot. Otherwise, I wouldn't use this implant. It makes the railgun's range from 165 meters to 243.3 meters. It's really good for sniping. Next is a legendary Missile Rack Radius implant. It makes a radius from 4.5 meters to 7.5 meters. This is a game changer. It makes it so you can splash missile racks off the wall. Next is the Epic and Legendary Missile Rack Damage. The Epic makes a damage to 39,564, while the Legendary makes a damage to 41,816 damage. Next is a Missile Rack Reload. It makes a reload from 10 seconds to 8.1 seconds. Next is the Epic and Legendary Long Arm Reload. Long arms are meta, but I wouldn't recommend using them since the ENs and railguns are much stronger. The Epic makes a reload from 12 seconds to 9.2 seconds, while the Legendary makes a reload from 12 seconds to 8.5 seconds. Next is the Epic and Legendary Long Arm Damage. The Epic makes a damage to 87,706, and the Legendary makes a damage to 91,215 damage. Next is the Epic and Legendary Ability Cooldown. The ability cooldown is the most versatile implant in the game. I use 5 of them because they're so strong. The Epic ability cooldown makes the cooldown to minus 23%, and the Legendary makes a cooldown to minus 30%. Next is the Epic and Legendary Ability Duration implant. This implant is really only good on Archangel if you use Panther with EM. The Epic duration makes it to 23%, and the Legendary duration makes it to 30%. And lastly is the Legendary Damage implant. This implant is really only viable on Tengu, and it makes the damage to 30%. So these are all the meta implants. If you guys enjoyed the video, like and subscribe, and see you guys.